Hello everyone and welcome to the Nomad Hedge, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the S&P 500. And wow, what a big sell-off we had yesterday. Totally unexpected. The CPI print really caught the market, but we might want to ask ourselves at this point, is there a possibility for a tradable rally from here as well? Could we maybe have found ultimate support here and move higher? Well, the bulls, the bears showed their case yesterday, but they haven't really showed their ultimate case because they need to break below this trend line here and possibly even fill this open gap that it's been open for quite some time now. But I want you to pay attention to this high low here and take a look at this trend line. We have been finding support here multiple times here. Now this is almost the fourth time we're finding support, and so the main catalyst for tomorrow, for today, this Wednesday today, I'm looking at the futures markets as well. Everything's pointing to green right now, but we are getting some more economic data and something that could be acting as a balancing act from a bad print yesterday to maybe a good print today is the producer price index. Now this is going to gauge inflation from the wholesale side. Yesterday was the CPI, which is the consumer. If we're getting a good print today from the PPI, that could act as a balancing force between the two, and maybe things aren't as bad as it currently is. So that also maybe leaves the question, okay, well, what if the Fed is is not going to go with a 1 percentage point? Maybe we're just sticking to 75. So that could be acting as a good equilibrium for today, and so it will be critical to gauge this PPI report. But I want to switch over to the 5-minute chart here just to gauge what happened yesterday. So as we can see, this is a 5-minute chart, and we can see that the bulls, they tried for multiple times here to break above this trend line here, and we ultimately found support here and there and even at this higher low trend line. So we had support 3 times here and a resistance here a couple times, but now we're seeing very tight pricing action. Okay, so if we take a look at this pattern here, this is a falling wedge, so it's a bullish pattern, and for this one to break out and to play out would be obviously a breakout above this falling wedge. So maybe the producer price index could showcase a good number here, and that the market is balancing the bad print from yesterday, from today's print, and we could see things finding support here and see the markets move higher and possibly fill this open gap. So let's also take a look at the S&P 500 here and see how the market sometimes can warn you, giving you early warnings that something is about to happen. Okay, so here, for instance, we see that the bear market rally started somewhere here. We had a falling wedge, and then we saw a steep rise here after one trading session after another. But take a look at this. We had an open gap here, and within this trend line here, we also have found some resistance along the way up, and ultimately this pointed out to a rising wedge. And on top of that, we had an open gap here. Plus, we had very tight pricing action there, and boom, what happened? We filled that open gap pretty quickly. So that's what I mean by, the market can sometimes give you early warnings, but then you have to gauge this on an hourly chart and a 5-minute chart and obviously the daily chart, and be very precise of these open gaps and bearish patterns that can be building up. So that's just something to think about. But obviously I'm more interested in this right now because we're currently finding ourselves here, and this is a bullish candlestick right there. We have buyers. You can see that buyers stepped in late in the session. So we have to see if this falling wedge is going to play out that I showed you on a 5-minute chart, and if the PPI is going to act as a catalyst, then we could possibly fill this open gap here and then gauge the market day by day and see where we're heading from here. And obviously lastly, I just wanted to point out, I still think that we could find resistance here, and that could act as a catalyst just before the FOMC meeting on September 20th. And if we're seeing a sell-off here, we could possibly then fill this open gap and maybe test the June lows here. Maybe we're finding support there, who knows? But that's just the way I look at this. And again, we're seeing that the RSI, for instance, we're back to oversold levels. We're under neutral here, under 50. The bears, if they're going to prove themselves, they have to prove themselves today, and that would mean that they would have to validate this bull flag here and break below it. Otherwise, we're seeing this falling wedge here, and maybe we're going to close this open gap, and from here we'll just have to see if the market's going to head higher or lower. And I just wanted to make a quick video out of this trading session we had yesterday. I know it's pretty bad, no one could have expected this, but obviously sometimes economic reports can be very detrimental in a bear market environment we're currently in. So that was it, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care for now. Goodbye.